Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, be invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
Got it anyway. Said the heat.
Can you hear us now? I think I fixed it.
That's one sec. Got it anyway. Oh, there we go. Said the heat.
Can you hear us now? I think I fixed it.
That's one sec. Got it anyway.
Lovely.
Said the heat.
Can you hear us now? I think I fixed it.
That's one sec. Got it anyway.
Lovely.
Said the heat.
Can you hear us now? I think I fixed it.
That's one sec. Got it anyway.
Lovely.
Said the heat.
Can you hear us now? I think I fixed it.
Here I am. Sorry, I was just shutting the door.
We're starting, we're here.
We can be heard. Welcome and good evening.
Hello, welcome, good evening. I'm just saying the same thing as you because I can't think what to say. Today's episode is on ADHD tax. And the idea for it was... Tell us about your week, Lindsay.
Well, I got my second parking fine within 2 weeks from the same place, in the same kind of scenario. So it's like I go to where I stay in Loughborough,
Yeah.
At my boyfriend's house. Same kind of parking setup for well over 3 years now.
And things that, you know, the average person learns and gets used to, especially after the first, second time, but...
I even use alarms. But here's the thing,
Yeah.
I then forgot to set the alarm. So, and you know, you're constantly battling. It's like, why don't you do it? Yeah, I usually do that, but I forgot to do that.
There's a lot of solutions often given to you when you've got ADHD and autism, all these things.
Which
you're just like, you think, I didn't try that already. I appreciate
I am open to suggestions though. I'm
Yes.
pretty receptive. I'm usually like, you know.
And that's what the chat's for, please.
Yeah.
Give us your advice. For our community, but for us selfishly.
My main advice, though, I was just saying to your mum and dad, which this is the childhood
What
bedroom, childhood bedroom, by the way. Let's just reiterate. Stefan's
Not current bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't currently live with my parents.
But yeah, I can't even remember what I was just saying. I know I was saying something to your mum and dad, but I can't remember what it was.
A solution.
Oh yeah, that was the solution. Have a great sense of humour about it. If you can't learn to shake it off and laugh,
100%.
you will literally because it is just constant, isn't it? Like this
Relentless.
battle is going on all of the time.
Yeah, and if you keep having a go at yourself, you're just going to take on that stress. It's exactly the same stress you get as if someone else is having a go at you.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. So laugh at your struggles. Laugh at the fact you've got to pay another £50
Another
fine.
fine,
It could have
yay.
been £25 if you'd paid it a week ago. You didn't forget about it. You remembered it 8 or 9 times.
Yeah.
Did nothing about it.
That's the ADHD tax as well.
So tell us about your 1000th parking ticket. What happened?
Well, literally as simple as that, I just forgot. So
Just forgot.
there's certain times you can park there. So say if you get there after a certain time. So sometimes I'll park it there in an evening. I'll set my alarm that when I wake up the next day, if I'm not going straight to work, which is fine, it will say move car in capitals to remind me to go move the car to somewhere where I can park for the daytime.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. So I just pulled up on the Friday night, but I was in a lot of pain because I've torn a muscle in here or something.
How did you do that?
I'm not sure how I actually did the final straw, if you see what I mean, but I've been quite active, what with ripping all the stuff down in the bus, and there's something else that was quite hard work. So I think it had just aggravated and aggravated it, and then it finally gave up. But, yeah, so I was in a lot of pain Friday, but I had taken painkillers, but it was still in the background, and it just shows you that my brain was occupied with managing the pain, which also was causing its own level of like mental health struggle, because I was then feeling for all those people that live with chronic pain. I was thinking, I can't cope. I'm not being able to concentrate. I'm being snappy, you know.
Definitely, and then to go to the doctors and then being like, oh, I don't really know what's wrong with you. Like,
you've got to just live in pain.
Fibromyalgia. It's only newly understood, isn't
That's
it?
what I was really thinking about, because I know a lot of people that suffer with fibromyalgia, and I get achy joints myself when I take it too hard anyway.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a lot this year to counteract it, knowing if that's what's to come. Because I know we were meant to be talking about ADHD tax, but some of the comorbidities of ADHD,
100%,
fibromyalgia is one of them.
Yeah.
So if you know you're ADHD or suspect you're ADHD, then do what preventative action you can for your joints and your muscles now. Try and keep them, you know, healthy as possible.
Even like what you said about I've hurt myself, I'm not too sure how I did it. You're more accident prone, and that in itself is an ADHD tax.
Well, that I was saying about this yesterday. I think it was it was definitely to Lou. I think it was yesterday. About banging into things.
Shout out, Lou.
Constantly. Yeah.
All the ladies are here.
Yeah, the whole gang's here. This is exciting. You're all going to be relating so much to this episode, because banging into things, I literally bounce around my house, banging off one thing to another. That's quite normal for me.
Catching yourself on doorknobs as you're going through
so it's
yanking you back.
Walking down a corridor and just bouncing from one side to the other because of my poor bellies. That's just normal life. With this really poorly shoulder, I banged into the door frame, which is quite a normal thing for me to do. And I was like Lee's thinking, what the hell? I'm like, about crying.
Oh my God.
But I'm so used to banging into door frames, but not with that. And now I'm taking them.
So mad.
That's the thing, isn't it? And this is the tax, that taxing element of constantly being angry at yourself for banging your toe, banging your side, 100%. Forgetting about something that cost you 30 quid. I mean, being punched in the pocket, that hurts.
It hurts, man. You remember that.
Yeah.
Not enough to not do it again.
Well, and that's what hurts more. You're like, what's wrong with me?
I know myself. And that's why you have to have the humour. It's a full circle.
And the network.
Self-compassion and community. That's all we need in life.
And I think neurodivergent, ADHD people, autistic people, we struggle to have those connections because we know we're different. So find the other different. That's what this is all about. Find the other different people.
Find your different people.
Yeah, definitely. Because when you can all have a laugh about it, it does make you shine that light. It does make you feel better when everybody's having a giggle or they're laughing 100%. At your story that you're telling.
It helps you digest information without taking it on in a stressful way. You can take it on and go, ha ha, and you don't suppress it either. It's really good for the mental health.
Even if you're explaining it and you burst into tears, I suppose then you've still expressed it.
100%. Have you ever done that, like, when you start crying, you're so embarrassed you start laughing, and you're like, I don't know why I'm crying, and you just go back and forward and you're like, I realise I look crazy now.
I kind of did it last night because of my arm again. So
I don't mean to laugh.
No, this is why we're laughing. This I'm not traumatised by it instead. I trod on a snail, so I was walking through the garden and I trod on a snail, and as I heard it go to crunch, I flung myself up to try and save the snail, and oh my God, the pain that went through my arm was horrendous. And then about like half an hour later, we have the back door open quite a bit, so then these daddy long legs keep getting in. And this daddy long legs landed on my hand, and I'm not even scared of them, but I flicked this arm. Oh my God, the pain.
Damn you, daddy long legs.
That one made me
sent here.
It made me feel really, really faint, like because it was so painful. So then I sat down in this chair, and Lou was like, started making me a cup of tea, and she was like, I'm going to make you a cup of tea with some sugar in it, because she knew like that I needed some sugar immediately. And then she was like, do you want some water, babe? And by then I was crying because it hurt so much, but I was so embarrassed that it's like, I'm like, it's okay, it just hurts,
Back into crying. It's how similar emotion and like a bodily action that is.
Yeah.
They're so close to each other.
Well, even on Saturday night, do you want to hear another story?
Story time, guys. Maybe I should turn the camera more to calm down, I'm listening.
Well, this one involves like, I hope Lee doesn't mind me sharing it because it is super, super funny.
You'll get a call like,
Yeah, stop
go
what
on
you're
that.
doing. So Saturday night, I'm sitting there, I'm eating my burger. Lee's finished his burger. He's actually still peckish, and so he's ran downstairs to fix himself like a bit more food. While he's down there, he's noticed a mask and thought, wouldn't it be funny if I put this mask on and sneak upstairs and make Lindsay jump? So I'm like happy as Larry eating my burger, and the mask.
Just imagine you in your own little head.
I know.
Was it a boo burger? Yeah, it was a boo burger. So excited for it, but I can imagine you walking down the street, picking it up because I'm excited for my boo burger and the thing. And why? What did you do?
So being made jump is quite a family tradition anyway with me and my brother. So
Right,
like,
okay.
yeah, that playful aspect, totally down.
You're
for
okay
it.
with
Yeah, totally down for it. And it's like a pug mask. It's really creepy. If Jim's tuned in, although I'm sure she has to do something when to have it. It came from her, so she'll be so pleased to know that it's still in good use. And anyway, I'm eating away, and at the corner of my eye, I've seen something enter the room, low down. So I thought it's a dog. My brain's like, it's a dog. And I've looked, and then it's like this horrendous. So my brain knew quite quickly what it was because it is mine. But it was, I was already reacting. So my body went like this, seriously jumped. Oh my god! I mean, Saturday my shoulder was still really painful. Back bicep. The pain that exploded in me immediately after was like something I'd never felt before, right? So I was like, ha, like laughing 1 minute, then like, ha, like immediately going into like, oh my god. So then Lee's realised, because he'd forgot about my arm, obviously.
Just instantly guilt.
Yeah, but I didn't want him to feel guilty because obviously it was funny what he'd done. There was nothing wrong with what he'd done, so I did not want him to feel guilty. So he's like, you all right? You all right? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Anyway, he's gone back off downstairs to like sort his food. I've started to lose vision, and I'm like, I'm gonna faint. I know the symptoms of fainting, and it's because of the shock value, and I was in so much pain. It was like, I'm gonna faint. So I was like, then I started getting really hot and sweaty. I've dropped down onto the floor. There's a fan, so I'm like trying to get close to the fan, and I'm by this point I'm really crying like this because I was like, I thought I was going to be sick. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't see. He's like reappeared in the bedroom. He's like, babe, what's going on? Like completely, obviously scared to death for me, and I'm like trying to explain like my blood pressure, low blood sugar. Like trying to like explain it all, and he's like. But then the brilliant thing was he went back down to check on his food.
I can't deal with this.
But like, yeah, and I think it was like, he went, well, when I said to him after, I was like, you went back to check on the food, and he was like, well, we didn't want a house fire as well as a medical. Totally true. So, yeah, and I think that's probably how a lot of house fires are caused because people are distracted elsewhere. Yeah. So anyway, he went back down to check the food. He said when he come back up, he was hoping things would be better, and it was like they were worse. Like by this point, I'm great. I'm lying on the floor. I've managed to strip off like my top half because I need to expose my skin, and but because I'm a bad shoulder, I can't get my shorts off. I'm like laying there trying to get my shorts off. Blind, like because I was just keeping consciousness, you know, like I think I'd managed to pick my Pepsi up at this point and have a few sips.
My God.
And I've looked up at him and I'm like, am I great? Look, am I pale or something like that? And then he's realised, oh my God, she looks like death. Like,
am I great?
Pass me the Pepsi. It was really traumatic, but everyone involved.
Like it is, and I'm just still laughing.
But this was the funny thing. After, like, it wasn't even after. He laid me down on the bed, and I've got ice on my shoulder because by then the ice was really soothing it, but I was still really faint. But then I started laughing hysterically, and then he's laughing hysterically. But laughing was killing it because I'm like shaking and it's hurting to shake. But I couldn't stop laughing, just could not stop laughing. And I thought that shows that it's that response of I'm so relieved I've not died, like, you know, that, and it's
glad you've not died.
Yeah, no, I mean I knew I wasn't gonna. I knew what it was. It was because I do have low blood pressure. It's like that shock sent my body into like a shock factor, so I needed sugar or whatever to like pull me back out of it. But I mean, how funny that he made me jump and that's what like happened. Like,
God.
needless to say, we went out for dinner with the family on Sunday, and I was like telling them all, like, he's there, like with my family as well. They'll love it. They'll love it. My brother will think it's great.
They're all sat there like,
Yeah,
they're just like at the end of the table like,
yeah, like,
sorry.
it's all right, guys.
It was
fine.
a
It's just the joke went wrong. Like, he's not coming out for dinner again.
Could've
Was
done
at the
it,
shooting
sorry.
range as well. Like, I told them after we'd been to the shooting.
The guns get drawn to him like.
But that was the thing. I mean, I was like, I'm not going to be able to drive tomorrow now. I'm not going to be able to hold my gun. And I managed to get through 2
Oh my God.
rounds of the shooting. And then I was like in a lot of pain, but there was no way I was going to miss it. And then I couldn't do the archery. Yeah, so it's been one of those weeks.
Wow.
But that is, I can't remember. You need to go to the doctors. Like,
Yeah, what's the chat saying?
well, about the cry, then the anger, then the laughter. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is that it's
So close.
and
in
fear and laughter. When you've been so wildly scared, the laughter always comes after. But
Exactly.
if they are so connected, then that's why we've got to use them, isn't it?
It's that moment. It's that like, yeah, it's real strange. It's like if you've ever been to a funeral, or something that's really serious, and you shouldn't laugh.
No, don't, because that is
The
where
idea
I'm
of
in my
that.
worst scenario. Baptisms, I got the giggles once at a baptism. It was like a really I think it was a Catholic one, so it was a really long,
Really drawn out hour thing.
serious affair. And I was like, it was awful because I was like, knew that I shouldn't be laughing. And then I'm thinking, but no, my mum used to look at me and my brother and go, don't you dare. And that would be making it worse.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I know fully what you've got. Them friends as well that like something real serious could be happening, and you're like, I cannot catch this guy's eye. I cannot catch this motherfucker's eye because if I do, I am literally not going to be able to contain myself. And you're just like, no script, because you know you've done it before. When you do look at them, and you're just like,
if we're
and
ever
you've
in
got
a
to
no
pretend
laugh
you're not.
situation, it's awful. Nothing feels as good as the giggles, but in that wrong time,
know.
it's awful.
Having to like apologise while you're laughing. You're still trying to be like, I'm sorry, and you're still laughing, and it's still like.
Do you remember Dick and Dom's game, the bogies?
I do remember bogies.
Yeah, see, once me and my brother was in a wedding, and all my mum heard was me go like bogies, and she was like, she was like, stop that. Like, because she knew me and Jay would have gone backwards and forwards and got them both of us
each other out.
were
of it.
such daredevils that there'd be no stopping either of us until my mum was like.
That's a form of ADHD tax that your mum experienced. It's not just the person with
Yeah.
the diagnosis that experienced it. If you rely on someone,
Oh,
recently when my mum was on holiday, she asked me to get a prescription. Did I remember to get it on time?
yeah.
No. And this becomes her tax.
Yeah,
It becomes her late fee.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
getting her prescription.
Ask Lee if he feels taxed living with me. I know what he'll say.
Do you feel taxed, Lou?
But the thing is, it's like, if I'm hyper, he knows I find it hard to. He knows I'm not doing it on purpose, but he knows.
I fully know what you mean.
And but it doesn't mean he wants it any less. Like, just because he knows I can't help it. But
My biggest tax is forgetting stuff, so having to drive long distances back to where I've already just driven from to collect the thing or more regularly, I'm ringing my partner and asking him to do it. So that's his tax.
yeah,
as well, so.
yeah. And that backwards and forwards, it's time, it's petrol, it's. Sometimes I'm adding it up in my head, like, and now it's this, and this, and that's the self-sabotage thing is only going to make it worse.
Listening to, because you're not going to sit there and think of all the things that went right that day. It doesn't happen.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. But
we focus on the
negatives, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So
100%.
yeah, so if you, I learned a lot of that from Sedge doing the work with her. So say if you get out of bed in the morning and you stub your toe. If you then think, oh, that's it, I'm going to have a bad day, you are going to have a bad day. And that is a little bit like the ADHD tax. When I get to my car and there's a parking ticket, that's why I'm so quick to shake that off, let it go, have a laugh about it, whatever tactic I need to use, because otherwise the day is going to continue in that cycle.
Yeah, I fully understand that. It's breaking that cycle. It's easy. Again, I say it about everything. It's easier said than done. It's something you have to like
36
really master
now,
and get
36, and it's still. I mean, I was saying earlier, wasn't I, that in my 20s I had no idea about ADHD. I hadn't started working with youngsters yet. and it wasn't around when we were younger or whatever. And I used to say to people, my hyperactivity is painful sometimes, so I was aware that I was, that the traits were there, but I wasn't aware that it was an actual thing. But I've been actively, and I mean actively, trying to work at this stuff for 4 or 5 years, kind of thing, with a more mature mind, and all the rest of it, and
a more realistic mindset of what your goals could be in improving this part of your life.
And it's still bloody hard work.
Yeah, because it affects every single part of your life. I can't think of one thing that's not down from buying groceries to, and we'll cover there's a load of different examples of it. So we'll take you to check everything's still working there.
Just with the doctor's thing, I had my blood pressure taken recently, and it's not low enough to be a danger day to day. It was just obviously in an aspect such as the severe shock.
Right. Okay.
That's what caused it, because it's already low. So having an attack like that is more common, if you see what I mean.
Right. Okay.
So just don't worry about me, thanks. I don't mean put my mind at rest there. Hey,
God bless her.
And loving your specs from Kat. Did you notice that I had new glasses?
Do you know what I did? Because, and I'll explain why. I don't know if you've seen the last few episodes where especially the live ones where I'm doing stuff. Every time I look at the computer, I'm like this. But I've already done it multiple times in this episode because I can't see. I'm supposed to wear glasses, but it's one of them things. I don't know if it's the autism like that where autism. I don't know. I said it like that. Autism.
That was American, was it?
The autism. My glasses, I don't like them. Oh, that's so great.
Get back to the story.
I need a button that gets rid of the last 30 seconds. I need some glasses. I'm blind. But I don't like wearing them because they irritate my nose, they irritate my ears, they fall, they do different stuff. I like the look of them, and I can wear them for a little bit, and then I'm like, I need to take these off.
Yeah.
But, you know what, my eyesight is to a point where I can get away with stuff, but I don't realise I'm squinting, clearly. How much of my life am I squinting and making my eyesight worse? So I need to get more, but I can't stand Specsavers. I can't stand... I've tried these where you order them online.
Oh, yeah.
And they just don't end up looking like what you get.
That was originally my plan, so I'm not going to say which shop.
God damn it, that's what my question was going to be.
Well, no, let me explain then. So I spoke these people in the shop, the shop that I went to. Turns out the guy that I was dealing with, ADHD, partner autistic ADHD, I can't remember which way around it was, so was having a really good chat. Yeah, and told him all about the podcast. And I said to the manager, please check out if you've got CSR, corporate social responsibility type budget, and sponsor a podcast. And I was like, 100%. We'd be more than happy to shout out the shop and the service and everything, because it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But like I said, I was like, we are a charity, you guys are a business. I've just spent £200 on these glasses. You want me to shout you out on my platform? I definitely will, because you were fantastic. But yeah, they were great.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna need the sponsor so that I can get.
So that you can get.
Again, another very selfish thing. So how many of you guys need glasses? How many of you wear glasses? How many of you need glasses and don't wear them?
I really there was so much choice, but they helped me narrow them down to
these. They're so nice.
And it's because I like them, because they got pink, but they were also big and they were subtle. They were everything. They ticked all the boxes that I'd said at the start. So it was a successful.
Yeah, I realise I'm looking at you as well, just
it's been funny
eye contact, but I'm looking at the detail. It's so cool, the line with the gold. It's like a rose gold.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've had this week. Is people, I can tell that they're trying to work out that something's changed, and
I've never seen any like that before.
I could tell that's what they're doing. If you see what I mean, one of my, I think it was my boss, JD. Shout out if you're watching. But she actually, big love. She actually said, she went, sorry, I'm just processing your glasses. While she was in the middle of chatting. Then
so I got to tell you, because you think I'm
interjected that part in brackets and then carried on. And I thought, this is why I love working for neurodivergent bosses, because
just
they totally get it off my stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's brilliant.
Because you want to be able to keep listening and talking without that just getting off her mind.
Yeah.
It's itchy now.
Yeah, isn't it? I am listening. I'm just processing your glasses. And she was like, they're new, aren't they? I was like, yeah, they are. And it's I've noticed that face on a few other people where they've not said anything, but I can tell they're either thinking something's different about Lynn's, but what is it? Or they're looking at the glasses. But yeah,
Well,
I've
there we
got
go.
the email address, and I'm going to be in touch very, very soon. So fingers crossed. Watch
We're
this
getting my
space. We
glasses
might have
first.
and we might have our first local business sponsor coming very soon, which would be very exciting.
How cool would that be? So
Yeah,
you
so
need some new
sorry,
glasses.
I was distracted by the chat, which is absolutely brilliant because we want people chatting away. And now I see you have a presentation for us.
I do have a presentation for us. This is ADHD Tax. I put so much work into this. Do you know how many presentations I dodged when I was at school? I was
I
just like,
love making a presentation.
I like the making of it. I couldn't do the presenting of it.
Oh yeah,
I know it's bizarre that this is what I'm doing as a
as a
put
fun
like,
activity.
Put like 5 people watching, and I'd like I don't really can't talk. I can't believe. I feel like I've actually not stumbled over my words as much today, which is improvement.
Yeah.
Improvement. I actually thought the audio worked at the start as well, but it didn't quite. But it was better than last time.
Well, we
Mini dubs.
we're learning.
100%. So yeah, this is my presentation on ADHD tax, because I feel like it's a little bit misunderstood about quite what it is. We were talking about downstairs, and my mum was like,
Is it a real thing?
yeah, what is it? Because a lot of people would also assume that it is
This is great because I've just started a notice board at school, and it says ADHD, like what is the ADHD tax, and I've pinned my parking ticket up there. So
Oh, yeah.
but I'm now like, right, can you send me this presentation? I'm going to do this with the PHSE lesson for sure.
It's very brief. It just gives quite like a small
That's
idea.
what we need. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see that or not, if you've got your glasses on.
What is ADHD tax? The ADHD tax refers to the extra effort, resources, and time people with ADHD put into tasks that may be easier for others. It's not an actual tax people have to pay, but it can still cost money. The ADHD tax can be a literal price people with ADHD pay as a result of the choices we make.
So yeah, we've got this idea of this monetary value that's like, take it that, you know, you struggle with that. And then on top of that,
The emotional impact.
there's emotional impacts, there's lost opportunities that you're not getting. There's so much involved. So this is what I'm trying to get you to understand, maybe look into your life. Do you have much of this tax yourself? Because it is at a high rate. Other costs we experience due to ADHD, we have guilt, shame, compromised relationships, and poor self-esteem. And a lot of people would argue that this often weighs more, does more damage than any monetary penalty ever could.
Yeah, of course it can. I mean, we know that money can't buy you health, but these things will really impact on your health.
100%. If you could have all these 4 things like sorted out, I think you're a pretty happy, balanced person.
Yeah.
And the amount of money you have just becomes like, that's just a challenge. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, imagine trying to make your money and deal with all this.
Exactly, because it's not like we pay this tax and not the average tax that everyone else pays.
Yeah.
It's that on top of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a few examples of how you could be charged. So money, and again, there's way more examples than this. I'm just trying to think of ones that maybe you'd identify with or have experienced.
Sorry, just one sec. For the Instagram viewers, there is a presentation going on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you want to see it, you need to get over to the YouTube channel.
See, this is the bossy boots over here.
I've told her she's not allowed to show you because then you won't come over to the stream.
Yes. And there'd be no point, Steph, learning all this marvellous split screen technology and other things.
Exactly.
You can watch it on catch up anyway, so you can watch us on here and then you can watch this afterwards.
Shout out to our Instagram viewers. We love you very much. So, yeah, one of the reasons I always do that. So, that's why I couldn't be a teacher. Do you have any things you say as a teacher that when you say it, you're like, oh god, I thought I wouldn't do that? So,
I
people's like, go.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I was probably more teacher-like.
yeah,
basically. So it's like sometimes I could do with it. But yeah, I do notice people do that when they mean it, don't they? Like, so,
100%.
or well, now then.
Okay, it's like I'm trying to sound like I'm doing something
Let's
right now.
begin.
We're just having a chat. So money. There's late fees and interest charges. These are things that like capitalism is based on. You know what I mean? It thrives on us having these issues in life.
Yeah.
All of these are generally used to get money off you. Parking and motor fires, that's something you've experienced. it's not just parking. Sometimes it's your MOT. Sometimes it's your insurance. Are you insured? Are you getting this sorted? Is it taxed? Are you allowing enough time to get your petrol before needing to like break down?
Yeah.
Like go and get yourself a jerry can.
Even just keeping up on top of like your oil levels and services.
Yeah,
and, you know,
100%. If you don't look after that car, it will blow up way quicker
and
than
then that will
yeah.
cost you in the long run because you couldn't be bothered to do those little things in the
Exactly.
short time.
These people that are really good at like maintaining their car like on a regular basis, like don't know who you are, shout out to you
I
guys.
know.
My stepdad's one of them actually, he's pretty good at that.
Mm.
I just like I've not checked my oil in about 3 years.
I have checked mine actually because I drove to Scotland, didn't I? So
It's good that you did them.
Yeah.
That's a good shout. So yeah, another one is paying convenience. So like Deliveroo, the amount of times you can convince yourself that like the shop's too far, or you haven't, you know, you run out of time because you've already spent your day being taxed, doing other things. There's prescription charges because you have ADHD. There's a good chance that you have to pay for your medication. So that is a charge within itself that other people wouldn't have to pay.
Mhm.
And then again, being unable to work. If you're brought to the point where you can't work due to your illness, then you've got no money, got any money coming in. Or if you're relying on benefits, you'll know it's not that great.
And the other thing as well, like even things like you buy fruit and veg, you put it, but then the next day your plans change, so you don't make that dinner. I know these things
Or you
happen,
forget that
but
it's in the fridge.
yeah, that was my next point. Or you just forget that you've got it. The amount of times that I go in the cupboard for something else and I'm like, oh my god, I keep forgetting I've got that thing in there. I could have had that for my dinner last night.
The
And
amount of
stuff
moldy
like.
strawberries I open my fridge to, and I'm like, oh, I bought fruit.
Yeah,
A week ago apparently.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because it's not just a one-off, and that's the thing. All of these things do happen to people.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it isn't a one-off that it becomes a tax where you're like,
Yeah, definitely.
And
So
then
I
it
go to the
becomes
shop and go, oh, strawberries. I forgot I had them last time, and I'll do exactly the same thing.
yeah, like
Just fruit I bought, fruit and veg. Oh.
it's like you need to
tried.
leave Post-it notes around for yourself everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, but they become part of the furniture. You know, when a Post-it note's been there too long,
Yeah,
I ignore the Post-it note.
Yeah, you know the strawberries in the fridge.
I actually saw a really good thing, but it's more for like routines and stuff that you have to get done. So it was on TikTok actually. You know those key fobs that you get, or like key rings, and they've got like the telephone cord things on them. She wrote like a chore for each one, whether it was like brush your teeth, get ready, have a shower, blah blah blah. And she puts them all on her wrist in the morning. And as she's getting ready, she just takes one off. Right, do that now. Right, do that now. Do that now. And doesn't digress from any of it. And she's like, it just goes back in the jar. And she's like, I've completed that, and it's already like 8 a.m. and I've already done all this stuff.
Oh my god, I like that.
It's really clever.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that.
Take that one.
As I was saying on here as well, look, how much my car fines cost millions because ADHD tax is through the roof when it comes to parking fines, and I'm sure with many of these other areas as well. Can I just mention that females also have the pink tax because of the sanitary products that we have to buy?
We've got that on top of this intersectionality of tax.
The fact that razors cost double the price, even though they're just the same razors as the men's, and that feminine products like moisturisers cost double and shampoo cost double just because women will pay for their stuff. So yeah.
But then you get mad at feminists when they do these outside protests where they let themselves just bleed free. And it's like, oh, don't do that. It's like, well, give me my stuff.
Yeah, give me my stuff for free then. I've been reading a really, really interesting book actually. It's called Invisible Women, and it's all about all those subtle ways that things are designed for the male gender, not for the female gender.
The systemic underlying
of
society.
We are never default, always the exception as a female.
100%.
Yeah, so it's like it's been really interesting. But I thought in future we could perhaps have a topic discussing it because you do feel like you say something about females and it's eye roll up. It's like, hold on, we are half of the population, you know.
I know, yeah. I had a recent debate with my mum. I've got to stop debating my mum. It's a debate lord thing to do. Like she's just like, and she's had a drink as well. It's just like it's just not the fair person. Just chill with your mum. Don't debate her. Just enjoy the time with her. And it was about the statistics of which men are hurt by men and women are hurt by men. And it's when you say like not all men. Yes, I get not all men. But I shouldn't have to keep saying that Because it's men that need to hold other men accountable.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only way it's going to work, to have male role models that aren't like...
Well, I saw a funny thing that said, here you go, not all the M&Ms are poisonous. Eat one. Only 10% are. Yeah, or only 1%
Exactly.
eat one. You know, it's that kind of, well, it's still a problem, isn't it?
100%.
You know, I get it that there's just one mixed in there.
Yeah.
But you're not going to eat them now, are you? Now you know there's a poisonous one in there because it's a problem. Like,
mushrooms, some taste like chicken. Some will kill you.
yeah,
But not all mushrooms.
that's why nobody
Not all
forages.
mushrooms.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
nobody forages, because they daren't. Everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
they might kill you though.
Some will give you the best trip of your life. You still don't risk it.
To be fair, I
The
bet,
ones that kill you.
I bet if we said to people, here, eat this mushroom that I've just picked, or I'm going to go and pick some mushrooms, more people would warn us of the danger of that than of...
We should do
than, I've got loads of ideas for experiments. I've got this really cool idea that I'm not going to go into right now either, but...
Because you're not going to steal the ideas. I get no views from it. That's not...
But anyway, let's not digress too much.
What are we doing? We're back on the... Time! Oh, wait, you are... Time.
Sorry,
on here.
we've taxed all your time by not sticking to the topic.
We tax our own time by not sticking to the plan, the course. We do it so much. Like, only a quarter of the last document we got through when we were doing the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was so... It's fine.
But we're going to do a 10-hour stream soon, so we'll just
a
go
10-hour stream. Are you ready?
we'll go back over all of them.
Right. So yeah, time. Spent looking for lost items.
Oh,
my
don't
God.
even go there.
When you text someone like, just leaving now, all you just need to do is grab your keys. And then they're
But
not.
you don't really, but you don't even just need to grab the keys. You go to leave about 18 times and your brain's like, I need this, I need that, I need
I'm a
that.
charger. I need to wait.
I went to leave the house earlier. Yeah, I'm always at odds with my body and just everything. Yeah, like, well, my spirit wants to leave right now. I went to leave the house earlier and with one of my older people that I mentor type thing. And just as we went to leave, I was like, oh my God. I was like, we're going to leave this house in a minute. Because it was like about the 8th time, you know, that we tried to leave. And I was like, but he's impatient. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. I'm sorry.
One more thing. This is it.
Soon I'll do it.
Yeah, like ready to like lose his mind. ADHD tax, I'm afraid.
It's just a thing. Spent driving back and forth because you forgot something.
Yeah.
I always remember getting my stepdad to agree to take me to a party when I was underage, to a nightclub actually. I definitely shouldn't have been there. And he'd already taken me to go and get the fake ID. As in, I'd borrowed an ID of someone that looked like me. And then I'd left it back here when we'd already got to Leicester.
Oh, no.
That's another half-hour drive back to... He was just like, I shouldn't be doing any of this. And I was like, I'm sorry. I did think of me like, he was helping me go.
Yeah, and then it's like, you feel so guilty, don't you?
The whole time I was sat there going, oh no.
Lou's just saying as well about
It takes me so long
and
to leave that
it kills her off losing things. Well, now we live together and it's like between us, we're always looking for something. But both of us will just drop what we're doing and help the other one. It's like, it makes you find it quicker anyway, even if the other person's only pretending to look.
Well, that's that thing about
At least
becoming a
help.
part of the furniture, isn't it? If you can notice other people's stuff way easier than your own. So, like, often I'll say to Nick, like, oh, where's this? Or he'll say, where's this to me? And I'll be like, oh, it's behind the bathroom door, which I noticed when I was doing something.
Because it's not your thing, so you have noticed
I
it.
do know where that is.
Taz has got a really good tactic for finding things.
I want to know.
She don't mind me sharing it, but I'm sure she'll correct me if I'm wrong. But she puts a bright something, like so a bright keyring or a bright phone case or whatever, on just her most important items, the things that she needs to leave the house with, and it's like a random colour that she, you know, isn't it like, but it's the same colour for all the things, so she only has to scan the room and look for that colour.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's
I like
really
that.
good.
I know what my brain's like though. It would just blot that colour out. It'd be like, I'd be like, I swear that was pink. That wasn't yellow.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what it's like when you go in your pocket for something, you're like, where is that? You've checked 50 times. If somehow you check when you don't even need it, and you're like...
It's when I'm like, the universe is just playing tricks on me.
ADHD tax. And then gives it back.
Yeah, Lou's saying that she frantic searches and that those fresh calm eyes is what helps. Like, because once you're frantic,
100%. Like,
Red.
take 10 deep breaths, you know, like, open that prefrontal cortex, like, get the vagus nerve going. That's all good decision-making optimization.
Yeah, definitely. Staying calm, I think, in all of these scenarios is again easier said than done.
Yeah,
When you've had 50 things build up on top of it. But I think it is being able to think that we catastrophize.
Catastrophize.
Yeah.
Catastrophize.
But anyway, so it's almost like thinking, okay, the worst case scenario is I'm going to be 10 minutes late. That person's not even going to be mad. And although, yeah, I'm annoyed because I want to be there, just take a chill pill because sometimes you're stressing. When you actually start to take it apart, what are you stressing over?
What's the most the other person's doing? Wondering where you are. Like,
yeah,
it gets to a point where I call you and you can go, yeah.
They know you. They know you're running late. They know that
you're always late.
Yeah,
to be honest. You just guarantee that they understand. Oh, it's Steph. She's always late. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and it's always when you're late that you lose things, which is
exactly
the thing. Yeah,
and that's that again. The calm brain, you can find things. The stress brain, you can't find things. You're in a triggered mode, and all you're bothered about is who lives and who dies. And you're just trying to find your keys right now. It's not important who lives and who dies.
Yeah, so you need to try and snap out of that.
It's ridiculous.
I'm just caught by that bottom one because that is so true.
2 p.m. engagements right off. Oh, right, yeah. So when you've got that doctor's appointment or something later in the day.
Mine's usually tutoring, so it's like, say if I've got the actual day off, but the kid hasn't got school off or whatever it is, so my tutoring appointment is still 4 or 4:30 at night. That day is so hard to do anything productive on because all I can think about is this 4 p.m.
You're like, I'm going to miss that, or you can't enjoy or
I can't relax
focus into anything that you are doing.
Yeah.
And that's the other one, hyper-focusing. The amount of time you can lose by being into something. Like,
which could just be doomscrolling.
Yeah. When I'd edit these videos, I'd be like, thinking like a few hours had passed. I'd look at the clock and it was 4 a.m. Like the lightest. I didn't even notice the sun go down.
Yeah,
and suddenly it's coming back up. Like, oh.
When I've been writing books before, it's like I've gone into the shed and then it's like 8 to 10 hours later that I'm like thinking, hold on, I've not showered, what time is it, what day is it? And it's like I'd solidly be there, like fixated in. A book that I read, I think it's called Do Me Key, but it's by Stephen King. It's about this guy who loses an arm, but then he goes into this state of like, he paints loads of pictures, but it's with the phantom arm that doesn't exist. Wow. But the way he describes the focus, it is hyper focus. That is, it's really reading it. I was like, that's how I get when I'm writing.
Yeah,
and really.
Anything creative that I'm enjoying, painting, anything like that, I could do it for hours, and just life just crumbles. And honestly, it's the reason I didn't have a bad time during COVID. I was so busy doing my dissertation that like. People were struggling to get toilet roll and everything around them. Everyone was scared. And I was just like, what? I don't even know what's happening. So much of my memory of it is like, it was only like a short while, wasn't it? It's like, no, it happened twice throughout the year.
It definitely,
big chunks.
Hyper-focus definitely impacts on your relationships as well, doesn't it? Because I'm so lucky that my partner understands that it's not personal if I can't break my attention away from what I'm doing.
100%.
Because if I do force myself to, I'll only be irritable anyway.
That goes back to that compromised relationships. It's not just you that gets this tax, it's the people that are around you. Because they rely on
sorry,
you.
everyone.
They love us for it.
It's kind of like, disclaimer before you're friends with me or in a relationship with me.
Oh, I've got so many. By the way, I don't text back, so that's really interesting. I have people that are just like, I don't think she likes me, and I'm like, no, I really like you.
Yeah, I just won't.
I've got a serious problem. A serious problem. Talk to my mum. I don't even
just come on live every Wednesday if you've got something to say. Be like, right.
Shall I do that, guys? In the chat, shall I just like come on live and then you can tell me in the chat like, Steph, come and do this with us.
Yeah. Like, has anybody got any plans they wanted me for?
Anything to do? Any plans?
Brilliant.
So resources. Another way that you are charged is going without. The amount of times that things like this happen and you just have to be like, oh, I haven't got it now because I didn't get to the shop in time, or it's a Sunday and I forgot that shops close at 4. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got to go without the cheap option. You've got to go to Tesco Extra or whatever and pay like twice as much for this. Why is their stuff so much more? Or like you have to go to a gas station, a gas station. American, a petrol station, and pay their prices for a sandwich because everything else is closed. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of things you have to go without. I'm struggling to think of any other examples.
Well, even I'm thinking when when we was doing all that work in October, we were doing the facial mask thing, and we were staying till kind of 8, 9 o'clock in town or whatever.
Yeah.
and I'd be driving home and I'd be starving, but I physically couldn't. I would be like driving past all these fast food places, looking at the queues. I can't bother to wait in the queue.
I just need to get
can't,
home.
yeah, can't bother to cook something. There's an open shop there. There's a chip shop there. I just can't bother. Can't bother to stop.
Yeah.
So I'd just go without dinner. And I'd be hungry, but my brain would just be like, nah, can't be asked to engage with that. And it's
Yeah,
like,
you
great,
just
I'll
can't.
just keep driving home then and go with
Especially
that.
when you're driving as well, because that brain's
Yeah.
half activated anyway. You're concentrating on that.
And it wants to get home.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one that was just coming to mind then. The amount of times I've gone without purely because I can't put myself through what it's going to mean to get it.
Yeah.
But then that's some positives, like not going out at night and buying chocolate. Because I just cannot be bothered. So I'll go with that.
Sometimes these things actually work in your benefit.
And I do try and always look at those positives again as a way of coping.
100%. Do you know what? I've gained a good skill out of ADHD like portrait, and I'm so proud of it. So I hate washing up. It's one of those. I can't stand it.
No, I don't mind washing up.
But what's easy to wash up is chopsticks. And what's easy to buy and what's really cheap to keep buying is chopsticks. I can eat anything with chopsticks now. I had a full kebab the other night, like chips and everything. I was just like,
It's hilarious. Oh my, that's my thing.
I'm now really good at chopsticks.
Please tell me you're getting wooden ones so you can just burn them.
Yeah,
not
they're
on
wood.
Plastic.
They're disposable, actually. They're really like, yeah, they're just wood. I wouldn't get plastic ones. And the taste, surely.
Yeah, they're mine. That is so funny though. I'm not even sure. Like, is that an ADHD hack? Like,
Another ADHD hack. I saw this online and I loved it. It changed my life. So when you don't know when to talk, it comes here, missed opportunities, not knowing when to talk in a conversation. You can often miss what you're going to say because you don't know when to interject. It's a little bit of an awkward situation.
oh yeah.
But you don't want to. You can't hold on to what you're going to say because the topic moves on, or you forget what you're talking about, or you're not listening properly. It's a really hard thing to do. So if you learn sign language, just the alphabet, hold the letter, like the topic that you want to say, or something you want to say that will keep it in your mind, and just keep that letter sound. Like,
I probably won't remember the word, but sometimes it would work. Do you get what I mean? It would work more often than not, I think.
It's like Sarah said it, and I was like, I'm going to try and do that.
Do you know, like, the frustrating thing though is, I know, like, sometimes when I'm holding a thought, that person then thinks I'm not engaging with them, and it's like, but I am. I'm just waiting. Like, do you get what I mean? And it's like really hard, and I just find the whole conversation thing really hard. Too many rules.
Most of a counselling course is active listening, learning to and proving that you're active listening, and it's one of the hardest things to do because you're like, I'm listening, but then I've also got to make sure that I'm hitting all these things within a counselling criteria and showing these examples and like. And then you're like, I'm not listening because I'm trying to hit lines.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell all the rules.
Yeah, in an actual counselling session, it's easy to listen. You're like, okay, you're processing.
I'm actually engaged with what they're saying.
It's so different when you're under pressure.
Yeah.
It's just being examined. It's not realistic.
Probably graveyard thing, God.
Oh, God. Yeah, where are we at? So many going without. Your effort correcting mistakes. That's another thing that we can all relate to that. Relying on others. We feel like, there's often things we can't manage ourselves, whether it's our finances, organisation. There's a lot of I know I rely on my mum for pretty much everything. 31. I don't live here though, I promise.
And as well, for me, it's like, I don't necessarily rely on people, but I'm aware that people are doing things for me, if you see what I mean, in the background. So, like, my mum will send that message, have you checked the expiration on your passport because you're going on holiday?
Yes.
Things like that. Now,
and I'll go,
without
I
haven't done that. And then you kind of think, God, I'm not even an adult, but thank goodness that I've got that support again. But
100%. There's the main one for me is, to be fair, my mum asks me every month, and I still haven't. I still have my implant. What's it called? The contraceptive implant, whatever it is. It was supposed to come out last August. Definitely shouldn't be in there still. But it's like, it doesn't cause me enough issue that I remember that it should be taken out. So.
I don't have I really, really wish that I hadn't had my coil put in. And because they should never have done it because I've not had kids. And now I don't want it out. Petrified.
I think I understand much about them. We can do a whole
Obviously,
episode on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's that kind of thing that I went to the doctor, spoke about my concerns, and a male doctor, told me it'd be absolutely fine. And now I'm doing
Steve.
now I'm doing the research, and it's not going to be fine. And I'm like, I don't want it out. Then you're gonna have to leave it up there.
I don't like that at all.
Mm.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we will do another episode on it because I'm not happy about it, but I just keep putting it back in my mind. Keep asking my guides, please reject it. Let's just allow my body to reject it, because on very rare occasions the body does reject it itself, but I doubt it would have been in for so long. Actually no, put it out to the universe, it's going to reject it naturally, it's just going to come
happening.
out.
So thankful and grateful that this has happened.
Yeah. Yes.
It's already happened.
They'll be real by next week.
Another one, no space due to obsession and hobby graveyard.
No money as well because of the hobby graveyard.
And no money, 100%. And this resource is this idea of like the space that you live in. It can, if you started doing a hobby and it's taken up your dining table, for example.
Or pole obviously takes up your
100%. This idea of like not being able to put it away, but then that stops you doing another thing. And that's like, oh, well, I need to clean. And then your whole house can kind of get ruled by these hobbies that you leave in places.
Like a jigsaw might be out so that you might finish it, kind of thing. A keyboard. A friend that said to me that she'd got a keyboard and now the shame she can't look at it. It's like part of the graveyard.
Just reminding me of it.
Yeah,
100%. And not only that, even if you have tried to pack it away, a lot of times you'll be like, I'll just put this in a bag and I'll sort that later. And then you have a graveyard bag situation where it's just loads of bags for the times you were like, I'll sort all this stuff out one time.
See, I have been quite like, I think, because my dad was really regimented with me growing up, and I will get to a point where, I know people do where they get to the point they have enough and they do it, but I don't ever let it get too bad. I think that I do switch quite quickly, but I've got a big OCD tendencies as well, so.
See, my mum always ended up doing it for me, so I've got this really bad, I'll just leave it. I don't know why. I'm still not learning.
That's how to say. Just get rid of the whole get rid of the whole dining table. So.
Just throw a whole lot out.
This is causing the problem, right? We'll just remove that
100%.
space. I did get rid of the dining table to pop the pole up.
There you go.
Yeah.
To make these sacrifices of things you need. I think ADHD homes must be so much more interesting than the average. Like the things you're like, why can't I have a sofa in the kitchen?
Yeah. You just don't need to get a sofa in his kitchen.
On the spot.
I'm not even kidding. I was like, we just need a little sofa in here for me.
Yeah. People started putting coffee machines and stuff in their bedroom so that they can get that.
Taz got that.
Downstairs. Shout out Taz. A little coffee
Yeah. And I want that because, that's the one thing that I tend to think when I wake up at my house on my own. I'm like, oh, coffee would be nice now in bed.
100%. Time to go down to the cats.
Yeah.
Finish this off.
You did that one though.
Not feeling like you can ask. Not feeling like you can ask for help is in that. Avoiding things that scare you. Again, these opportunities like, oh, I don't think I could do that. Whatever. We're a lot more inclined to
not
take these risks. Yeah. Or some of us take these risks and end up making mistakes, and then you correcting your mistakes.
Yeah.
So it goes back to resources.
Not reaping the reward.
Definitely. And then missing deadlines. Again, it goes very much within the parking fines, and you not paying it that short 14-day window that you can get it cheaper. These little things that, whether it's a library books or... Yeah, definitely. It just adds up kind of thing, doesn't it? Most definitely. Why do we do these things? Intention, act, gap. So... This guy, Russell Barkley, PhD, thought intention deficit disorder might be a better name for ADHD as it captures our never-ending struggle to take action on decisions, i.e. failing to do what we know we should do. That's the thing. It's like when people are preaching, it's like, we do know it. Yeah. I'm not like, what is organisation? Yeah. I don't. How can I stop this? Like, I do know what I should be doing. A diary, that's the days of the week, right? That's the, I don't know this. No, I would help. We intend to get the car's oils changed, but we don't for whatever reason. Down the line, that neglected oil change becomes a wrecked engine that breaks the tank. We've already covered this. Yeah. Analysis paralysis is another one. Acting on a decision is a big problem, but so is decision making. It's a problem that's often looped in with perfectionism, procrastination, and difficulty prioritising. That overwhelm of
I know what I want to achieve, and I know all the things that need to get done, but now I can't start because look at all the things that need to
Exactly.
get done.
I need
Like,
to do this first. So it's back to the jigsaw. I can't never go back to that jigsaw because I need to clean first. And I can't clean first because I need to go and buy this new
and I can't
liquid that I haven't got yet.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Many adults with ADHD, overwhelmed by the decision in front of them, simply shut down, and it's just like that. I can't deal with that right now. Goodbye.
The amount of people in my life that I know that do that, and it frustrates them, you know.
100%, because it looks lazy. It's the only thing it looks like to other people.
It looks like you don't care. Like, well, you don't want it that much.
You're just not trying hard.
Yeah, if you wanted it, you'd do it.
Yeah. It literally looks like a mountain in front of you, and you're like, I'll never be able to do that. Forgetfulness and disorganisation. How many times have you been blindsided by a non-refundable charge after getting to cancel your after forgetting to cancel your subscription? This might be reminding you right now, and I'm really sorry. Trigger warning, I probably should have given. There's that Amazon Prime that you forgot to cancel, or that whatever TV subscription it is.
See, again, I started using my diary like however many years ago and stuck to it religiously.
Yeah.
And I do try to write ahead all these things.
Right, yeah. But then just put it on the date, put it a week before, 2 weeks before.
Yeah, so that it's all in there. But I mean, it still slips through the net, but I do actively do these things, and I would recommend doing them just to give yourself an 80% success rate, maybe.
half of it, literally we say, is getting these tools, and then half of it is just having a good time with yourself when you get it wrong, because it's going to happen.
Yeah, it certainly is.
You're never going to be perfect, and nor are neurotypicals. They're just typical.
Yeah, that's it on there as well. Analysis paralysis is me all over. So I knew that there'd be a lot of relatability going on with these subjects, and hopefully feeling like you're not alone will help you battle it next time.
I feel like it's the reason I end up ordering the same thing on the menu every time.
Yeah,
it's that like, well, I like everything else, or it's too much. Sometimes I look at the menu and I can't even read anything else on there. I just know that Scampi's on there.
Yeah, and you're so overwhelmed by everything else that's going on. I love that. I knew you were going to say Scampi as well. Like, is Scampi on there?
Impulsivity. So typically in the form of purchases that aren't so well thought out. I don't know about you, but I get a bit of a buzz when I'm like, that'll make me feel better. And it does. For about a minute. And then I'm like, forgot that I bought that thing.
Since not drinking, impulsive buying really took over, and I had to really...
I thought you were about to say it reduced, like I really sorted that out, but it's like, no, I can't stop spending money now.
Yeah, because obviously, well, I weren't the type that drink and go online anyway. I'd drink and be pole dancing, drink and be poetry, you know, I'd be drinking and being active and creative. So now I'm like, not drinking and doing those things.
Let me do this.
Well, my brain's clearly... Yeah, my brain's clearly like, I need a thrill, I know what you're doing. Or... to be honest, it's probably down to having a little bit more spare cash as well. Yeah. So there is spare cash then. I'm like, oh, sorry, yeah, it's my money, why should I? But it's felt quite nice. That's been one of the bonuses of not drinking.
I was going to say, you need to stop drinking again.
Yeah. But
it's still worth it.
I've treated myself loads, but there has been some impulse buys that I've been like ashamed about. But because I
kind of need one.
Yeah, well, look,
can you think of an example? Like, you can't just like lead us up like that. And
one was that bloody
the fact it starts with a bloody, you're over this thing already.
That hair removal thing that's just like a circular pad, and apparently you'll just do that and it'll take your hairs clean off.
What, without any pain?
Yeah, no pain, and it's like meant to be a buffer basically. It doesn't work. It's ridiculous, it's horrible, but
we're not getting a sponsor from them.
Not only that, well, I messaged them furious, like, what a load of crap, and then they're like, because they said they'd give me my money back if it didn't work, and I was like, it does not work. And then they started saying, oh, try it like this, and I was like, I've tried it every which single way.
So good.
But the worst thing was, I paid about, I want to say it, I paid about £18 for it, because I obviously got caught.
Money back.
I obviously got caught in an advert where I thought that was how much they were. Then my mate were like, I got like two for £3 or whatever. I was like, oh. So then I realised.
This advert, a bit of plastic with some like.
Yeah, literally, like honestly, so ashamed. But that was the purchase that made me realise that I was being targeted by particular adverts, because they'd realised I was impulse buying, and it was like, this girl will buy anything. They don't mind what price it's at. 100%. They probably tier the prices, and then it's like, depending on how much of a sucker the person is, that's what 100%. Price they go. So
you know, if I was your Google ads, I'd literally be like, there's a Alien book. Alien book. Alien book. Alien book. What about this?
A Judge Judy t-shirt. I need that in my life.
I do need that signed gavel.
Yes, yeah. Like, portrait of Judge Judy. Yeah, I need that. Is it any wonder Lee will not step foot in my house?
So, last one, now versus not now.
Oh my goodness.
Thinking.
Yeah.
It is
A
debilitating.
blessing and a curse though, because sometimes I really like I know, I'm like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's no longer a problem. You know that once I walk in the house, my brain will switch from work mode to home mode.
I know
and
what
it
you
will not
mean.
be a problem anymore.
It's not so much a positive, it's more like, as it's happening, I'm like, I can't wait for that bit where I'll forget about this.
Yeah.
That while I'm sad,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait for my ADHD to kick in right now. Forget all this. And then later on, you're like, ah, I'm not even bothering me. I'm confident.
Yeah, until it rips back around, like, you know. With
Well,
the
I won't deal
numbers.
with it again.
Yeah, like, damn it.
Suppression doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. So it does feel good in the short term, and that's the whole ADHD thing.
Definitely.
I'm just after feeling good in the short term. Which usually
Definitely
means
not.
not feeling good in the long term.
Instant gratification over long-term gratification. It's,
Yeah.
It's worse. So, because of time blindness related to attention action gap, we seriously downgrade the impact our current choices have on our future in favour of instant gratification. My God. The reason I don't exercise. And it winds me up so much. I remember talking about this on the Habits episode, which is a perfect example. When was that? February?
Yeah, no, it was
End of
earlier
February.
on.
Maybe the start of March. I talked about how annoying it is that when I think if I just started doing exercise, the last time I thought about it, I'd have already been like into exercise by now. I've been doing it for a while. And if I'd have done it since talking about it on that episode, girl would be svelte right now. Do you hear me?
It's almost like the night before is so easy to be like, tomorrow I'm definitely going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's so easy to talk yourself out of it again the
those
next
people
day.
clearly haven't met.
Yeah, they haven't. They don't even talk to each
I
other.
actually handle it. I wake up every morning just like, let's chuck all this stuff on me.
Yeah.
You know I can't handle this.
The exercise thing, you can be clever with it. Like, I leave a really heavy weight at the bottom of the stairs because you forget things so many times. So there was one point where I was literally lugging a 5 kg weight up the stairs and back
I know
down
what you
again
mean.
every time I forgot something. And that was great. No need to exercise
Bit
there.
like, whoop, whoop.
There's literally
I've
no
got
need
this.
to exercise though, because you are then adding exercise into what you're already doing.
Yeah, it's a natural occurrence.
Walk in the house, strap on weighted ankle things, and then do your housework.
There you go. There's a tip. Don't worry about going back and forth for foot. Don't worry about you can't talk. Stop podcast. Make it your career. What are you saying? Don't worry that you've got these
Well,
things
yeah.
that take you longer. Add something in there so you get a benefit from it.
Somebody had said on one of the Instagram like profiles that I was looking at the comments, and I think this guy was saying that they'd been up and down the stairs. They were talking about that, and
Right,
it was
yeah.
a hard thing. But then I was like, I've been watching on Netflix that How to Live to 100, and one of the things that they found that is actively like linked to longevity of life is going up and down the stairs, up and down hills. That kind of work. So I was like, I go up and down the stairs at least 100 times a day. Like,
It doesn't have to be Everest. It can be your stairs.
yeah. So
That's wicked.
utilize these things. So I actually commented back to the guy. I was like, I don't know how triggered you are feeling about this, but on a lighter note, you may live to 100, which means you'll have to put up with this for a lot longer. Like, you don't have a bit of a lie.
It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're going to live longer. I've got to put up with this my whole life.
A
Yes,
gift
forever.
and a curse. Oh, that is ADHD, isn't it? A gift and a curse. That is a perfect way.
If you talk too much or not at all. If you sleep too much or not at all.
Yeah.
Eat too much or not at all.
Can't find my stuff, but can find your stuff.
Yeah. Obsess about it or not give a...
Oh, yeah, that's so... Yeah. There's no middle ground with me.
No, there's
Just
no
like,
middle ground with ADHD.
that I show no interest, or I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I need more.
Being able to be passively interested just to show somebody, like a bit of interest. Like, oh yeah, that's good. But really, it's like, I don't care.
I know. My brain is so like Tell them you don't care. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But tell them you don't care. No, because that's rude.
It was so interesting, that How to Live to 100. It certainly was. In fact, I've still got a couple of series to finish off at the end of it. But
I do want to give that a go.
I'll tell you what, it starts off and you kind of think, if anybody's wondering whether to watch it, whether it'll be a bit morbid, it totally isn't. Because I was feeling the same, and I started watching it and then saved it for when I was with my boyfriend because it was so upbeat. And the lady at the start that they feature, her biggest tip, I don't want to spoil it, but
spoiler alert.
But I'm going to spoil it, is just about being angry less, laughing more, and
cortisol in the system is not good for you.
It is such a big stress, is such a big killer, which this ADHD tax is out there and is real.
It will cause you all the stress in the world if you let it.
We're here. We are here, guys, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we will laugh about these things and talk about these things.
100%. Do you think we should? I think we should finish with 10 deep breaths. And you should all join in with us. Yeah. Okay. We won't do the Biet ones where we're like pass out. We'll just do some. Yeah. So start with us, guys. Let's do it.
You can't know we're just gonna do it.
I think we'll.
You can't know.
Okay. So 1.
So high. Hey, my head's
7. 3 more. 8. 9. Me too. I feel like I should have done that before starting the episode.
Crazy thing is, I so easily could have gave up at breathwork and it's taken too long. That's honestly what it is to fight through.
And that is how ADHD will always battle things like meditation, mindfulness. It's, again, like that instant gratification, and it's just about keeping at it.
The best exercise. Sorry, I was just reading. I'm just reading about talking about the tips for living longer. I definitely need to watch some more of that. It sounds great.
The best tea is wine, 100%. There's that small island or whatever, the village it's an Italian place, like Sardinia or something, and they all live to like past 100, and they all drink like red wine every day. But it's all like, it's about survival still. There's no like technology. There's no stress. There's no
cortisol, the actual killer stress of like panicking as though there's a tiger attack.
There's so much community spirit. There's like parties and barbecues and dinners, and all the kids hang out together and all the adults hang out together. It's a regular thing. People work all they need just to get the money they need to pay for their stuff, pay for their parties, and go enjoy themselves.
Well, there's definitely lots more to learn and more to discover, and that's why we're going to continue doing this.
We all find a future where we are happy, stress-free,
and glad to live to 100.
Yeah, not just wishing for the end. Get rid of me now. So, we've done way over an hour. It's our time to leave, you guys. We'll see you next week. This is Lindsay.
And this is Steph.
We are A Different Human Design, and this is a different podcast. See you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Tuning in, guys.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, being fighting. You don't agree that you're the problem, now we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, being